We are live from the Macadamia Castle in Byron Bay, and
I'm live in Noosaville, Queensland, Australia, in my clinic room for the day. So what's our topic for today, Tiff? What are we talking about?
bodies, essentially, and maybe bodies and money. We're just going to see where this conversation takes us, really.
So where this stemmed from was a conversation we had yesterday. We're reading through the advanced How to Become Money workbook together with a friend of ours, Alicia. And the topic was about, is it you, the being, that requires money, or does your body require money? Does you, the being, require a house, or does your body require a house? Does you, the being, require
food? Or does your body require? It's a very interesting It's a very interesting question, isn't it? You're kind of like, oh, right. So pretty much all the things that I spend money on are for my body, making my body comfortable, making my body happy.
And the other thing we talked about is, like, what fight do you have with your body? Like Tiff was saying, she's got pain going on. Alicia's got something going on with her elbow. I've had something with my shoulder. And it's just, oh, man, how much do we use our body as a reason and justification, or even a stopping point for where we can go beyond? Like if you have a recurring problem, or you're just constantly fighting with your body, you're judging it, the shape of it, the age of it, the weight of it, the color of it. It's how can we ask our body to create with us and create money for us if we're judging it and fighting it?
And it is that thing of, one of the things that came up for us when we were reading through this book together was how much, how much are you separating from your body? How much are you judging your body? And it's like, if you're judging your body in any way, then you're creating a separation from it. And it's like, if you are creating a separation from your body, does that make it easier to have money or harder?
And the other thing too, it's like anything that you decide is a problem becomes a problem. And how often do you create a problem to create a possibility, rather than what's actually possible with your body that you've never acknowledged before? And what if any problem that you've decided or projected at your sweet body is a problem, what if it's the possibility in disguise, and it's just trying to give you some information, or it's trying to show you a different possibility? So, if you've got anything going on with your body right now, okay, what if I turn this into a possibility? You don't have to have an answer.
Sorry.
You go.
Also, the willingness to, again, we spoke about this yesterday. My body is basically the main thing that has led me to more consciousness. So, it was often showing up as problems, but I always knew it wasn't problem. I always knew it was my body going, hey, like, this is not really working. The first was a job where I started to become aware of all the bodies, and I started to become aware of how my body was like, I don't really want to sit here for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, And so it forced me, or encouraged me, to start to look at different possibilities, because my body was like, no, this is not it, And then as I started to learn some more tools for communing and communicating with my body and asking it questions and allowing it to lead me, I've had all sorts of amazing things show up as a result of it, inviting and allowing my body to lead me. Because oftentimes our bodies are actually a whole lot more conscious than we are willing to allow ourselves to be. So it's like, what if you invited your body to contribute to more money showing up in your life?
Yeah, and I love that too, Tiff. It's like, if we're fighting our body, if we're judging it, we're separating from it. And, you can't change a judgment. If you've decided that you're right, if you're fighting for your judgment, you're fighting for your limitations, we talked about this last week, you're keeping in place the very thing that you're actually trying to change. So say if you've got a weight issue right now and you're judging yourself and fighting it, and it's not going to change until you change your point of view about your body. So what gratitude can you be for your body today that you've never been willing to be before, you know, and just touch the areas of your body that you're fighting with, and just imagine stroking them lovingly and being grateful and talking to those parts of your body. As strange as it sounds, what would that change? And then what could you ask your body to create? You know, and this whole thing about, if we're in survival mode, you know, if we're fighting, if we're resisting what is, and we're creating more of what we're resisting because we're fighting, you know, it puts you constantly into this state of survival with your body as well, rather than, well, what if you and your body could thrive beyond what you've currently created? What would that look like? What would it even be like for you to have a body that was thriving, rather than problems and aches and pains and this and that? It's like, well, what if you asked your body a question? Hey, body, what would it take for us to thrive? What would it take for us to have greater ease functioning together, rather than seeing it as a separate thing to you?
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, our bodies are so aware. You know, our bodies have the ability, our bodies are basically a sensory organ that is giving us information all of the time. But what we do, or what we're taught to do, is very much, well, this feels uncomfortable, so this, you just go, well, this hurts, there's something wrong. Like, what's wrong is the question that a lot of us are kind of taught to go to with our bodies, rather than the question of, like, say you have a pain in, you know, your elbow, just because we're going with elbows, you know, ask your body, okay, so what is this? What is this awareness? And it's like, what if every discomfort that you've ever had with your body is actually an awareness? And what could be possible if you asked your body the question, what are you showing me? What is this information? And what can we do with it?
Yeah, and that thing about asking the question too, I think when people first are introduced to this concept of asking a question, it's like, who talks to their body? You know, it's like Dr. Google talking to the animals. So, you know, who asks their body questions? And yet your body has this incredible wisdom and innate consciousness that is far greater than we've ever, I think, even ignite. For me too, it's like, it still amazes me, the information and the awareness that my body gives me. But it's not, when we ask a question, it's not, you know, going to give you a linear dialogue of, you know, well, it's this, this, and this. It might be a sensation that your body gives you. It might be a picture. It could be your awareness shows up for you in the way it shows up for you, and it'll be different for every single one of you. So when we ask the question, it's not about, I've got to find the answer. I've got to find the solution and fix the problem and logically compute, oh, it's X equals Y equals Z. There we go. That's the issue. So, you know, if you've got something going on with your body that's not changing, ask a question. Okay, body, who or what do you require? You know, do I require to take something out of my diet or out of my life? Do I need to add something to my diet or to my life? You know, and it's just, if you can, just let the question go. You know, it's not trying to work it out in your head. And this is where I think a lot of people that are new to the question go, but I don't get this stuff. It's weird. You could be driving along and something will pop into your head, or you could be washing up or in the shower and something will just suddenly go, oh, I want to go and get that Manuka honey, or I want to go and see that, you know, cranial sacral therapist or whatever. Your awareness starts to communicate to you because you're actually taking the time and the space, and you're valuing connecting to your body way beyond the linear construct in a very different way.
Yeah, I love that. I actually remember I was sitting in a cafe once, and I just started to play with this whole thing of asking questions more and talking to my body more. And I had some stuff going on with my body, and I asked my body, I think something similar, like, who or what do you require to change this? And I'd probably been asking that for a few days. And then I was in this cafe, and all of a sudden my head kind of turned, and behind me was a poster of this woman who was offering, I can't even remember now, it was some type of yoga and meditation, but she also mentioned something else. And I just knew straight away, I knew that's what, you know. And then I chose to follow that too. I went and I started doing classes with her, and it really changed something. And I gained a whole bunch more awareness. And, you know, it's like our bodies know so much more than we give them credit I'm
Yeah.
just laughing because this llama is like looking at me like really interested in what I'm saying.
I've had a blue tongue lizard this morning. I was doing a phone session with somebody and I had a blue tongue lizard. I've got a beautiful big glass window here looking out into the garden. And this blue tongue lizard was literally walking past, parading himself, and then he'd rustle in the leaves, then he'd walk back the other way and parade himself at me. And I'm like, dude, I'd love to take a photograph of you right now, but I think I'll cut my client off on the phone. So can you just stay there? But this is the thing, when you're willing to ask a question, you know, what else can show up? Yeah, so have fun with asking some questions, people. And just something you said too, Tiff, it's like, well, what's quicker, thinking or knowing? You knew your body wanted something. It turned you around. It wasn't, oh, I've got to think about, is it this product? Is it that product? Do I read through the list of this and that and the others? It's like, okay, body, who or what do you require? Walk into a health food shop or into something, you know, like a clothing shop even, and go, okay, body, where are the clothes that you'd like to buy? What clothes would you like to wear? And, okay, body, can you create the money for me to actually have those kind of clothes?
Yeah.
Because your body knows how it would like to live. It knows how the luxury and the clothing and the car and the food and the champagne, it knows. So if you'd ask
yeah,
it to,
that's another thing we were that's another thing we were kind of chatting about yesterday, was like, I love, you know, fancy things and beautiful things and you know, extravagant, you know, materials and all that sort of stuff, but at the same time I'm like, I don't really care. Like, there's a part of me that is kind of like, I don't really care. And then when I started to look at it from my body's point of view, it's like, yeah, my body's way happier. Hi, Alicia. My body's way happier if it's like clothed in beautiful clothing and beautiful materials and sleeping on an amazing mattress and eating, you know, delectable, amazing, beautiful foods that are prepared beautifully and they look beautiful and all of those sorts of things. So it's like, what does your body know about money and luxury that is different than whatever your desire is for that could contribute to you having more joy, more money, more fabulousness, more amazing clothes, more, you know, more of all of that stuff. And yeah.
And I wonder what would happen and what could show up if we asked our body, hey, body, how much money would you like to actually have? How much money would you like to play with and create? And can you contribute to us creating this? You see you see a beautiful dress or a nice piece of artwork or something you'd really love to have, and your brain's already going, I can't afford that, or I can't, you know, whatever the point of view, the limitation is that comes up. And it's like, okay, what if we could? Okay, body, would you be willing to contribute to us actually having this in our world?
Yeah.
You know? And the question opens the doors to possibilities. An answer will always shut the door on your fingers and in your face.
Exactly.
And on that note,
what's that?
And on that note,
exactly. What a good place to end this little chat. So, thank you, ladies, for watching. As always, we're grateful for you, and we would love you to have more ease and more joy and more all the wonderful things and more money in your world, if that's what you're choosing. So, yeah, come and play, and thank you again for being here.
And feel free to comment on our video with anything that's come up for you or any questions.
Yes,
thanks.
Absolutely.
Bye, Tiffany.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.